Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is August 16th, 2022. Today is the 4-year anniversary since the death of Aretha Franklin, also known as the Queen of Soul. She died today in history from cancer at the age of 76. We're going to go back and look at her death and show people the numerical ritual her death actually was. Also we're going to we'll briefly talk about the death of Elvis Presley, who also died today in history. The king of rock and roll. And also Babe Ruth passed away today on this day in history. He was known as the king of the home runs. Just think about that. The Queen of Soul, the king of rock and roll, and the king of home runs all died on the same day, on the 228th day of the year. In gematria, death equals 228. So we're going to talk about those things and just want to make sure that the audio is good before we start. And also, I'm going to take some calls after my presentation. And if you guys notice anything about the death of Aretha Franklin that I might have missed, definitely call us in and talk about that. I don't want to talk about anything else except Aretha Franklin, Elvis Presley, or Babe Ruth. I don't want to talk about sports. Please do not call me and ask me about anything else except the topic. So this was the headline back in 2018, the day that Aretha Franklin passed away. If you guys don't know who Aretha Franklin is, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, she is a legendary singer. She is the person who sings R-E-S-P-E-C-T. That is what it means to me. Very legendary record. Many people have heard it. You should. Everybody. I think everybody should have heard that record at least once in their lifetime. Even if you're not an English speaker. I mean, that song is. My mother doesn't speak English and she knows that song. But this was the headline back in 2018, the day that she died. It says here that Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, died at the age of 76. A very important number. We talk about that number a lot. Has a lot to do with Black history. Right? 7 times 6 equals 42, of course. Aretha Franklin died on the day with 42 numerology. 8 plus 16 plus 18. And of course in the gematria, Negro, Rasta, Slave, Blues, I think Jigaboo as well, all equate to 76. So very, very important number, especially it has a lot to do with Black history. It says here that Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, known for hits like R-E-S-P-E-C-T and Think, has died in Detroit. Think about it, Detroit on the 42nd Meridian at the age of 76. The legendary singer was diagnosed with cancer in 2010 and was announced last year she was retiring from music. Franklin won 18 Grammys and had 17 top 10 U.S. chart hits over a music career spanning 7 decades. 7 decades. So she was singing since she was 6? 7 decades is 70 years. The star gave her a final appearance last November at the gala in New York held in aid of the Elton John AIDS Foundation. In a statement, her family said, "In one of the darkest moments of our lives, we are not able to find the appropriate words to express the pain in our heart. We have lost the matriarch and rock of our family. The love she had for her children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and cousins knew no bounds." Okay. So dead at 76 from cancer. According to a lot of sources are saying that she died from pancreatic cancer. But let's get right into the numbers because that's what exposes what really happened to this woman. She didn't really die from cancer, you guys. Believe it or not. A lot of people think that these celebrities die from the reasons that the news is reporting, but that's not the case. The day that she died, August 16th, 2018, that was a day with 62 and 26 numerology. In gematria, when we write out Queen, she was known as the Queen of Soul. Queen has values of 62 and 26. And notice the name Aretha is also 26. Dead on a day with 26 numerology. Now, she was born on March 25th in the year 42. Died on the day with 42 numerology. Of course, she died in Detroit, Michigan, which sits on the 42nd meridian. From her birthday on March 25th to the day that she died on August 16th, notice she died 144 days after her birthday. That's an important number to time. Time in Jewish gematria equals 144. But of course, the Jesuit order equals 144. And these are the people, the group of members of the Catholic Church that, conduct these rituals and do things by the numbers. These are the people behind the record labels, behind your news, behind the sports games. These are the people involved. This is the Illuminati, the Jesuit order. And of course, the Jesuit order in gematria is 144, and she ended up dying a span of 144 days after her birthday. Now, when you think about Queen, that should remind you of the Queen, right? Queen Elizabeth. And no doubt that, her death is going to be connected to the Queen because, just think about it, Queen. And this is how they do it too. It's just, but this is what confirms that the Queen of Soul was synced up with the Queen Elizabeth. Look at this. Queen Elizabeth, her name is Queen Elizabeth II, right? I want you guys to notice the gematria of Queen Elizabeth II. Look at this. You guys see how it equals 168? And just think about what day that the Queen of Soul died. Aretha Franklin. She died on 16/8. On August 16th. The date is written 16/8 in the majority of the world. I think the only place in the world that writes it 8/16 is probably here in America. But the majority of the world write the dates August 16th this way. The day before the month. And Queen Elizabeth II has gematria of 168. And that's the day that, of course, the Queen of Soul passed away, right? But notice this as well. From from the Queen Elizabeth birthday on April 21st to the death of Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin ended up dying on the Queen's 118th day of her age on the 228th day of the year. And notice in gematria, when you write out death, is 118 and 228. And notice when you write out Queen Elizabeth by itself, you see these are the four ciphers. Every number, it connects to Aretha Franklin. Now, of course, look, the number 150, that's an important number to the Illuminati. And also 69. Illuminati equals 150 and 69, right? But you guys notice how Queen Elizabeth is 228, and then Aretha Franklin ended up dying in connection to the Queen on the 228th day of the year. You guys see how Queen Elizabeth is 66? When you write out Aretha Franklin, it equals 66. We're also going to talk about this album that Nicki Minaj put out. It's called Queen. It came out 6 days before the death of the Queen of Soul. And this album is exactly 66 minutes in length. And when you write out the Queen of Soul, it's 66, just like Aretha Franklin. But you see how all the values in Queen Elizabeth, they connect to Aretha Franklin, right? Again, 150 and 69 is the Illuminati numbers. And it's the Illuminati behind this ritual. The 228, the day that she died, on the 220th day of the year. When you write out Queen Elizabeth II, it equals 168. And the 228th day of the year is August 16th, usually. 16/8. But again, Queen Elizabeth is also 66, like Aretha Franklin. So no doubt they had the Queen of Soul synced up with the actual Queen, Queen Elizabeth. How about that? But going back to Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj put out this album on August 10th in the year 2018. And ask yourself, what are the odds of that, right? Nicki Minaj puts out this album called Queen. Then 6 days later, the Queen of Soul passes away. And I know you guys probably think like, oh, so what? What are you trying to say, that Nicki Minaj is responsible for Aretha Franklin's death? No, that's not what I'm saying. The way the Jesuit order works, they like to put out predictive programming in order, like, to tell people what's going to happen. Similar they did a lot of that with 9/11. They put out a lot of films forecasting 9/11. But since the majority of the world is asleep, a lot of people didn't notice any other signs. Because for some reason, these people feel like they have to tell people what's gonna happen before they go and do it. I don't know why they play this sick game. And I'm talking about the Jesuit order, the Catholic Church. They love this sick game that they play. You know, they tell people this, like they have Nicki Minaj put out this album called Queen, and then a week later they'll execute the Queen of Soul. I don't know why they do that. It's like mockery. It's just, I guess it's just their way of knowing, like, okay, this is how intelligent we are, that we are able to tell you guys that we're gonna do it, and you guys still can't notice it. I think that's why they do it. So it's almost like it gives them bragging rights. Like, okay, you guys are that dumb. We are that smarter than you, that we are able to tell you, and you still can't notice it. That's my theory. I think that's why they do this stuff, because this stuff is sick. And they put out this album Queen, and the Queen dies, and I'm like, what the hell? How is somebody making this connection? But notice this: the album, like I said, it came out on August 10th. Hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully my camera's not in the way. I want you guys to see how long this album is. I don't know if you guys, you can't be. I think my camera's in the way, but if it's not in the way, you can actually do a Google search. Actually, I'll do it. Let me see, Queen, Nicki Minaj. Because I want you guys to see how long this album is. It's exactly 66 minutes long. Look at this. It came out on August 10th, right? Just 6 days before the death of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin's death. And the album is 66 minutes in length, right? Aretha Franklin equals 66. The Queen of Soul equals 66. And notice, look at this, right? So Aretha Franklin was born on March 25th, right? We spoke about that. The album came out on August 10th. Look, it came out 138 days after Aretha Franklin's birthday. The album Queen by Nicki Minaj. And in Gematria, Aretha Franklin is 138. And if you remember, it was on 13/8 on August 13th that Aretha Franklin got sick and got hospitalized. And ended up dying 3 days later. So she gets hospitalized on 13/8. The name Aretha Franklin is 138. This album by Nicki Minaj comes out 138 days after her birthday, titled Queen, which is 66 minutes in length. The numbers that connect to Aretha Franklin. This is how they do it. And without the code, you won't be able to prove any of it, you know? This is why gematria is so important, because I can say something and, you know, it'll be up to you to believe it, right? But after you watch my videos, there's nothing to believe, you know? Because everything that I say, I provide the evidence to support what I'm saying, right? So I hate when people say, I believe in gematria. That doesn't make any sense. There's nothing to believe. You believe in math? I believe 1 + 1 is 2. No, you don't believe 1 + 1 = 2. You know that 1 + 1 = 2. Right? There's nothing to believe. You know, Aretha Franklin, you don't have to believe that it equals 66. It equals 66. You know? You don't have to believe that Nicki Minaj's album is 66 minutes long. And that is a fact. That is something you can verify. You don't have to believe that the album came out 138 days before Aretha Franklin's birthday. After Aretha Franklin's birthday, all you have to do is measure from Aretha Franklin's birthday to the release of the album. It's 138 days. That is the number that connects to the value of Aretha Franklin's name. So I don't understand where the belief comes in. Like there's nothing to believe. This is evidence. This is mathematics. And this is a pattern that they've been using with most of these celebrities. They did it with Elvis Presley. I'm pretty sure they did it with Babe Ruth. I haven't decoded Babe Ruth's death. And it's funny, it's 10:38 right now. Talk about synchronicity. But Babe Ruth, I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked at Babe Ruth's death, but I'm pretty sure Babe Ruth's death is synced up with all of these people. Elvis Presley and Aretha, because I mean, just think about it. They had the Queen of Soul, they had the King of Home Runs, and they had the King of Rock and Roll all down the same day. And you know what's funny? Today I put out a post on Instagram letting people know that today those 3 people died in history. And then Fox, I'm not saying they did it because of me, but I'm just saying this is strange. Look at this. I put up this post 20 hours ago, right? Just showing people how all 3 of these legendary pop stars died on the same day, right? And then Fox, look at this, Fox News. Babe Ruth, Aretha Franklin, and Elvis. Let me see if the article comes up. Like, I don't know. Like, is that a coincidence? Look, 23 hours ago, they put out they put an article reminding people that these three people died. Now, I don't know. Like, that's just strange, man. It's strange. On this day in history, August 16th, American legends Aretha Franklin, Babe Ruth, and Elvis Presley died. Queen of Soul, the Sultan of Swat, and the King of Rock all died on August 16th. The Sultan of Swat, he was also known as the Home Run King, the King of Home Runs. I don't think he's the King of Home Runs anymore. I think Barry Bonds has that title now. But for a long time, Babe Ruth was the king of home runs. It's the day the legends died. Three giants of American pop culture: Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, the Sultan of Swat, Babe Ruth. Let me see what's the gematria of this. I didn't know he was called this. As the judge with older numbers, that's for sure. Babe Ruth and the King of Rock and Roll, Elvis Presley, each were summoned to the Royal Court of Immortality on this day in history, August 16th. Aretha in 2008, Ruth in 1948, and Presley in 1977. Franklin and Presley were arguably the greatest female and male voices in modern music history. Ruth remains perhaps the most celebrated athlete in American sports. Okay. Let me just finish with Aretha Franklin. So, like I said, this Queen album comes out by Nicki Minaj 138 days after Aretha Franklin's birthday, and that is the value of the name Aretha Franklin in gematria. Again, the album is 66 minutes in length. Aretha Franklin also has gematria of 66 when you add the rules of numerology to the alphabetic order. Now look at this, right? Now, she's probably remembered for, I think her most memorable record is definitely Respect. RESPECT, right? Now, the record came out in 1967. The word respect has gematria of 86. Blood sacrifice is 67 and 86, like human sacrifice. But I looked into the history of the record, and I noticed that she wasn't the one that wrote this song. It was actually a singer named Otis Redding. You guys can see him on the far right here. He's actually the first person to sing this record. And in 1967, when he died, or after he died, Aretha Franklin remade the record. And I guess, I don't know, maybe she did a better job, because when you think about that song, you think about Aretha Franklin, right? A lot of you probably never even heard of Otis Redding. But notice the gematria of Otis Redding. He was born Otis Ray Redding. His name is 168. And again, that's the date that Aretha Franklin passed away. Isn't that sick? They synced up her death with the Queen and also with the person who originally sung the song RESPECT. She died on 16/8, right? Now, this singer, he was very young. He died at the age of 26, which is interesting because Queen is 26. This is amazing how they do this stuff. But notice he was born September 9th. He ended up dying in a plane crash on December 10th in the year 67, same year that the song was sung by Aretha. He died in a I don't know if it was a helicopter crash or a plane crash on December 10th on his 93rd day of his age. And notice in gematria, Aretha Franklin's full name, Aretha Louise Franklin, equals 93. Very important number to Saturn, right? You know who else has that 93 gematria? Beyonce. Beyonce's full name is also 93. All these legendary singers have that same number value in their name. But how interesting is that, right? He died on his 93rd day of his age, the number that connects to Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin dies on 16/8, a number that connects to Otis Redding's full name. And these are the two people responsible for this record blowing up, RESPECT. Like I said, the name of that song equals 86. The song came out in 1967. The values of blood sacrifice. And again, the guy was 26 years old. Queen is 26. It says, almost unbelievably, Aretha Franklin was not the first person to record the song Respect. Otis Redding will have those honors when he released the original composition of the Stack label in 1965. So actually, 2 years prior to Aretha, that song was released by Otis. But I don't think nobody remembers that song in connection to Otis. But, they did sync up her death and his death with each other, which is very, very, very interesting. But isn't it obvious what happened to this woman? But look, every time these black celebrities die, they got to throw in the shaming numbers, right? The 42s, the 76s. And Gematria Rasta, Negro, Slave, Blues, all equals 76. That's how old she was when she died. Again, she died on the day with 62 and 26 numerology. Queen is 62 and 26. Sacrifice is also 62. And of course, she died on the day with 42 numerology. She was also born the year 42. The N-word, slavery, February, which is Black History Month, has Gematria 42. Something that is interesting as well is that she was born the 84th day of the year, March 25th, and died on the 228th day of the year. United States of America equals 228 and 84. This was an American icon. And let's see. Make sure I get everything in there. When you write out the Queen, she also went by the Queen. It has Gematria of 121 like blood sacrifice. But I think the biggest thing to remember from this ritual is, you could talk about a number of things. You could talk about how Nicki Minaj put out this album 138 days after the birthday of Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin's 138. Or you can talk about how it was synced up with the Queen, and Aretha Franklin died on the 118th day of the Queen's age on the 228th day of the year. And Queen Elizabeth II is 168, like the date that Aretha Franklin died. Or you could talk about how her death was synced up with the original singer of Respect, Otis Redding. The name Otis Ray Redding equals 168, reminding us of the day that Aretha Franklin passed away. And he died on his 93rd day of his age, and Aretha Louise Franklin is 93. So there's a number of things that you guys can remember from this video. But those are the top 3 things that I've found. There's probably more to this because this was a legendary singer. You can also talk about how she died on the 144 days after her birthday, the Judge would order number. Her day was 62 and 26 numerology. But I think that if any of those 3 things or 4 things, you tell people about it, it should definitely raise some eyebrows. Nicki Minaj could have named this album anything else, but she decided to name it Queen, and then the Queen dies. So if you guys want to call in, the number is 646-986-0958. It should be on the bottom of the screen. I'm taking some calls. If you want to, let me know something about Aretha Franklin that I didn't point out in this video. So that way, if there's any new people watching this video for the first time, wants to learn more about Gematria, ritual sacrifices, how these celebrities are being taken out by the Jesuit order, you want to give us more examples of how they're doing it, especially with this person here, call us and let us know about it, because there's probably a lot more to this ritual. Because this was in 2018, so this was a while ago. I don't really remember this news story, or at least I wasn't paying attention to it. But because I definitely didn't document it when it first happened, for some reason. I don't think when she died, I don't think I was making videos yet. That's probably what it was. Because she died in August. I started making videos in that year, but at the end of the year in December. So she died before I started doing the work on my own. Okay, this is interesting. Today is the 60th anniversary of The Tender, The Moving, The Swinging of Aretha Franklin, released on this day in 1962. 1962. There goes another 62. There's probably more things about that record that I don't know about. I think it was connected to a movie at one point. Oh, look at that. A movie came out. Oh, look at that. Okay. So Jennifer Hudson, she played Aretha Franklin. Okay, let me look at this. Jennifer Hudson played Aretha Franklin in the movie Respect that came out in 2021. See, I didn't know about that. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot more to this that I'd have just, because this was not just anybody. This was Aretha Franklin. This was a huge mega star in the United States. So Jennifer Hudson, September 12th. What you want, baby? I got it. 27 days before Jennifer Hudson's birthday. 338. I'm trying to figure out why was Jennifer Hudson chosen for this, because there's definitely a connection. They don't just choose any actors for no reason. There's always a connection. Well, the name Hudson is 27. Aretha Franklin died 27 days before her birthday. Now this film, how it came out on August. You see how they do it? Look at this. Look at this. We were just talking about 138, and look at the mockery. They put out the film on 13/8, the same day that Aretha Franklin got sick. Isn't that sick? These people are something else. I'm telling you. We started the video talking about 138s, right? And I didn't know anything about this film. I found this film right now. I just did a live Google search for the song Respect, and this film came out. I didn't even know this film existed. And look at that. This movie came out on 13/8. The Value of Aretha Franklin. Like how the album Queen came out 138 days after her birthday. Look at that. You see, they're doing everything by the numbers. They're releasing the films, these albums. This is how the judgment order works. Mm-mm. So it's on Netflix. Respect, what a mockery, right? She has her legendary song is Respect. Meanwhile, the Jesuit order doesn't respect her. Clearly, killed on a David 42 numerology at the age of 76. That's disrespect. See how long is this film? So it's 2 hours and 25 minutes. Yeah, they're releasing on a 62 date numerology as well. Queen is 62. It's crazy how they do it, man. The same date numerology that oh my gosh, they released the film the same. It has the day that the film came out has the same date numerology as the day that Aretha Franklin passed away. Hello,
Hello, bro.
what's going on?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to chime in. This ain't about Aretha Franklin, but I want to say, first of all, I love your work, and I'll be sharing every time I see a celebrity death. I always look for your video first. I already know you. I know it's by the numbers. I know you about to make a video, so I'm waiting. And I'll be sharing your videos with people, and they still don't get it. They still think I'm crazy. I'm like, nah, he ain't crazy. He know exactly what he's talking about. This ain't coincidence. But The reason for my call, bro, is I wanted to know if you could look at Nori's dad, because I thought about that. I was like, yeah, Nori had to go through his own Nori door because I forgot his dad died and his career took off, and that's why I was putting two and two together. I was like, well, maybe Capone didn't make the sacrifice. That's why his
You
career didn't
mean
take off.
Nori the rapper?
Yeah, Nori.
I think you asked me about that recently, and I think I answered it in the comments somewhere.
Well, you did. Oh, I didn't see
Let
it.
me see if I find it. It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, I said it in the comments before.
Yeah. I should have did a video about it because I know you were asking me about it. Um. It was probably a while. Oh yeah, you did. Okay, so here it is. So I wrote the name Victor Santiago. That was his father's name.
Mm-hmm.
It equals 65. He died 65 days before Noriega's birthday, the rapper. So yeah, so clearly there was something up with that. His father's name is 65. That was a span of 65 days from his son's birthday.
Wow. Yeah, it's got to be something to Nori. Because, I mean, I like Nori. Don't get me wrong. I like him. But at the same time, there's no way in the world he's that popular and he didn't take the door.
Yeah, the name Nori is 56. Yeah, none of these entertainers are just put there without them, selling out.
Yeah. Yeah. But I ain't gonna hold you. I know other people probably call him, bro. I just want to say thank you for taking my call and thank you for looking that up for me.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
And I'll be watching all the rest of your videos too and sharing them.
Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate that.
Take care, bro.
All right, man. Let me just call this person back. Okay, she's calling me. Okay. What's going on? Hello?
Hey, Simple True. I just want to give a shout out to your work. Like, I always just been watching your page in the bushes. I also just wanted to add that Gucci Man have something to do with this Aretha Franklin, Nicki Minaj stuff. If you add Gucci Man in this equation, like, he gonna come up in this somehow. I don't know how, but somehow he does.
Well, what makes
Anyway,
you think that? Is it something you saw?
Because Nicki Minaj and Gucci Mane have both ties to Aretha Franklin heavy as fuck as far as the media wise with that the stuff they put out. If you put in Nicki Minaj, Gucci Mane, and Aretha Franklin, it's just so much stuff that's gonna come up in Google. But anyway, I just wanted to say that you're doing a good ass job. I've been showing people, like, a lot of people just been learning from me, learning from you, and doing this stuff. I just want you to keep going. But
thank you so much.
Thank you, and that's all I have to say. And I'm gonna keep sharing your stuff and supporting it and everything like that. I wish you would make a thing that people have to join because I would definitely pay for this. And
well, I have a Patreon, but I usually just put sports stuff on there. I don't know if you're into that.
Yeah. I'm not into the sports stuff. I actually like what you're doing on here. So if you could, like, make this a joinable thing, I would definitely don't mind paying for that monthly. But
well, on the Patreon there's a tier.
I just wanted you to look into Gucci Man connected with both of them because that's not for no reason.
Yeah, I do see that they have a song called "My Chain of Fools." I don't know if that's an actual song or it's just like a remix. Because I do see that though, "My Chain of Fools."
Yeah, and it was just a lot of, and then Elvis was in it, and so it was just a lot of stuff like that. So there's definitely a reason for that, and that's all I just wanted to say. Nothing else extra. Keep doing your thing. I always support everything you do, and I'm gonna keep sharing to everybody I can.
I appreciate that. If you wanted to support the work, you could join the $1 tier. Just $1.
Okay, okay. How do I do that?
Well, in the comment section, I'll usually leave a link. You can just support with $1.
You put that link in. I got you.
Appreciate that, and thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. And this from New Orleans, but I moved to Michigan, so New Orleans by way of Michigan.
Now let me ask you something. How you feel about, like, because you say, like, I don't understand how people can say coincidences because like if you show somebody the Nicki Minaj album, and then the synchronicity that had
because
how can somebody call that a coincidence?
I think it has a lot to do with religion, like. Because when you look at it, all these celebrities have in common, like everybody be like, oh, I love God, I love this. And you look at videos of celebrities, oh, I give a shout out to God. And
yeah, that's the first thing they do.
That they telling us, they taught us back in history. So of course we're gonna all be like, yeah, I'm down for that. But just knowing gematria gonna know that something we was lied to about. So it takes a special type of person to get it in their mind to say, nah, I get that. If they lied to us about everything else, why the hell they told us the truth about God? So that's all my thing. I do believe in a higher power. It's just not what they telling us exactly, and that's how they controlling it. Because if the gematria was made by letters and numbers and how they said it was, then we wouldn't be able to clearly have these ciphers. Clearly, there's some type of supercomputer. This stuff has already been scripted. That's all I have to say. Like something has already been ordained and put in place.
So you think the reason people can't understand it is because they've been programmed too much that
Yes, because it's just like people who know about like people who know about people wearing masks and people wearing being certain different characters and that character just die off the stage like a movie. We can't say we have the same God as these people if they feel like they can deceive us this heavily and that's okay when they say, oh no, he's definitely a Christian because we watched a video about him talking about God.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
And I like what the celebrities do. Every time they get an award, they always talk about God first. So that does kind of like brainwash the masses, saying like, "Oh no, there's no way this person is this evil when he's talking about God and at the award show." So I see what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Like that was my only thing. But I'm still gonna support you and still share my stuff. I got even coworkers. I can't say where I work at, but I put my coworkers on. Like they text me every night. They be like, "Man, I be falling asleep to this shit." I be putting them on, sending them your videos. They be like, "I would never know it was like this," because I had to tell them like how I go, like with the how I reverse, forward, backwards. Like people, it take a special kind of person to just want to absorb that information. When people just obtusely dismissive, that's a whole different person. But if you can get the people you can get, they can help people that probably we couldn't get. Maybe they can help the person that dismissed us. So I just keep that in mind. So thank you. Please keep doing your thing. I love your live videos. The thing you did about the posters on the ground that you saw that you did.
Yeah.
Do that too. I'm all down for that. Anything I can do to help, I'm going to help.
Well,
So
I really appreciate
just please
you.
don't stop and actually like make your videos a little bit longer than you do, and they have an option now where you can shorten your videos out and get them straight, precise to the point. So thank you.
Okay.
Keep doing your thing. I love you, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
And she made a great point about Gucci Mane. I'm just noticing the name Gucci Mane equals 76. And that's how old Aretha Franklin was when she died, right? But I don't know if this is this the actual song that they had? My Chain of Fools. If it is, isn't that crazy how the name Gucci Mane is 76 and then Aretha Franklin died at 76. My Chain of Fools. I gotta find out if this is a real song. You see, that's what I'm saying. This is such a big celebrity that there's a lot more things that I'm not even realizing with this woman. My Chain of Fools. Look at this. Gucci Mane, Aretha Franklin song. Cause you know, a lot of times these rappers just claim that a song is with a celebrity and it's really not. Cause I remember when the Notorious B.I.G. passed away. You know, rappers like 50 Cent put out a song featuring Biggie Smalls, but Biggie Smalls had already died like 10 years prior. So, you know, you don't always assume that these songs are actually with the person. Sometimes they'll just put the person's voice in the background and claim that the person is featuring in the record. I just want to know if was this an actual song that was recorded, because it's saying here they released it in 2020, but 2020 Aretha Franklin was already dead. So did they make it before she died? Because the name Gucci Mane is 76, and that's how old Aretha Franklin was when she died. So it definitely looks like if this is a real song, they definitely connected her with Gucci Mane as well. So shout out to the caller for pointing that out. That is crazy. Gucci Mane born on February 12th. Let's see something real quick. 2018. That 185 stands out because mathematics is 185. Catholicism is 185. Gucci Mane was born on the Skull and Bones day of the Super Bowl. They live in 322 days in a year. Oh, that's funny how Gucci Mane's okay. Atlanta. She's 42 years old right now. My Chain of Fools. Yeah, this came out in 2020. I don't know how real this song is, but there is a song out there featuring Aretha Franklin and Gucci Mane. And we just saw how Gucci Mane is 76. My Chain of Fools. 161, 71, 64. It came out on March 2nd. It came out on the 62nd day of the year. Yeah, so shout out to that caller. This is there's definitely a connection here. This song came out on the 62nd day of the year. Queen is 62. It's crazy, man. So the line is open if you guys want to call in 646-986-0958. So Gucci Mane is involved. Well, I'm not saying he's involved, but they definitely synced up Gucci Mane with the death of Aretha Franklin. That's probably why that record came out in 2020 on the 62nd day of the year. My Chain of Fools. $564 days. So you guys want to call up? It's the number 646-986-0958. You should see it on the bottom of the screen. So that's something else we could talk about if you want to share this work. And look, going back to the film that came out back in 2021 called Respect, featuring Jennifer Hudson. This movie, it came out on August 13th, 13/8. Aretha Franklin's 138. So everything they did with Aretha Franklin was by the numbers, no doubt about that. Again, not Beyonce, but Nicki Minaj's album came out 138 days after Aretha Franklin's birthday. It was called Queen. So Jennifer Hudson, going back to Jennifer Hudson, let's see, 1981. Let's see how old she was when Aretha died. 1981, she was 36. She was 36 years old. And don't forget what Jennifer Hudson did to obtain her fame. Sacrifice almost every member of her family. That's another story for a different day. But so like we opened up the video saying, Elvis, I think he died from, what was his cause of death? Was it a heart attack or something? Yeah. They're saying that he caught a heart attack in Graceland in Memphis. He was 42 years old. The cause of his death explained 45 on the 45th anniversary. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're going to explain his cause of death to us? I'm just gonna lie some more. Then I think the name Elvis is 67, like Blood Sacrifice. It is. It's also 22, like Satanic. So Elvis is 67 and 22. When you write out Satanic, these are Satanic rituals. It has those same values. They're saying that Elvis died at 3:30 p.m. You know what that is? 33 coding. Mm-mm-mm. You know, Jesuit is 42. Dead at 42. Yeah, so what I'll do is on my blog, I'm gonna probably tomorrow because it's a little late now. I'll definitely post something on Elvis. Elvis Presley also has the 67, his full name. The 67, like Blood Sacrifice. Aretha Franklin put out Respect in the year 67. So Elvis died. He was born on 1/8. IHS is 18. Died in the year 77. Yeah, so I'll definitely make a blog post on Elvis and Babe Ruth. If you guys are interested, you can visit my blog, simpletruth.television.blogspot.com, and read about Elvis Presley's death. Probably tomorrow it'll be up. And yeah, I won't make a video about him, but I'll definitely do a blog post. His full name does have that 216. Remember, 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. The name Presley has that gematria of 35 and 37. He died 145 days or 220 days. Actually, he died on his 221st year of his age. I think the Bavarian Illuminati is 221. It is. He died on his 221st day of his age. Yeah, so I'll definitely do a blog post on Elvis. It's kind of obvious what they did with him. This was definitely one of the biggest rituals of all time. He's up there with the Michael Jacksons, the Aretha Franklins, the Kobe Bryants. These super mega stars like this, the decode is always going to be complicated. And one last thing, just want to look at the king of rock and roll values. I think so. Well, there's your 86 to go with the 67 in his name. $185 like Catholicism and mathematics. And Babe Ruth. What happened to Babe Ruth? Let's just take a quick look at Babe Ruth and then. Babe Ruth was shot? No, no way. He died from cancer as well. He died in New York City. New York City is 168. Oh my gosh. Just like New York Mets. On August 16, 1948, baseball legend George Herman Babe Ruth died from cancer in New York City on 16/8. For 2 days following, his body lay in state at the main entrance to Yankee Stadium. Wow. Yes, hello? Hello?
Hello.
How
I
you,
don't have much to say. This me, the caller, Her Majesty, from your comments that I talked to you earlier.
Okay.
I just want to say Trump and Elvis link in gematria. That's all I wanted to say. Like, as far as if you wouldn't put all their stuff together, like they actually come out as kind of the same people. So the people who talking about mass actually kind of make sense. So that's all I wanted to say.
You said the name Trump equals the same as Elvis?
No, I'm not saying the name Trump equals the same as Elvis. I'm saying
there's probably a connection between both of them, right?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have major connections. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there is. So yeah, like I said, I'll do some more research on Elvis, and I'll definitely put it on my blog. So should be there about tomorrow. I think we can end it there, though. I mean, it's pretty obvious what they did with the Queen of Soul. They synced her up with the Queen Elizabeth, with the Queen of Rap, Queen Nicki Minaj, and of course with Otis Redding, the originator of RESPCT. And we just saw how the film Respect that came out in 2021 came out on 13/8. The value of Aretha Franklin. She also had a song with Gucci Mane, and then Gucci Mane is 76, like her age of death. And that song came out on the 62nd day of the year when Queen is 62. So, yeah, but the Jesuit does not respect people of color. Absolutely not. So, maybe that's who she was referring to. Got to demand respect from these people, and the only way we do it is by exposing them. Because these people do not respect us. Killing legendary celebrities at 76 on dates with 42 numerology, there is no respect if you understand the meaning of those numbers. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.